Okay, Smackdown. Now, I want to say this now. If you can hear me at all. If there isn't that much static or any static at all, that'd be great. But I do know, not just from what you guys said, I know from one of my previous recordings there was a little static. But then when the next recording came, there was a lot more static. So it's a possibility my Zoom H1N is malfunctioning. And if it is, I tried to clean it, I tried to blow it out, and I tried to clean it just in case something was wrong with it in that way. But if it's still malfunctioning, you still hear static in it. That means the Zoom H1 is not working correctly anymore, and I'm going to have to use an alternate mean to do my audio. At least until they get another Zoom H1. Because I'll pro this one out if it's not working correctly. I've had this thing for what? 3 years now, and I've been using it almost every other day. So it probably has reached its end game. So if the mic is messed up, I will have to do an alternate form of audio recording until I get another Zoom H1. Because I do need a Zoom H1 if I'm going to do other types of recording. So I hope you understand if there is static in this recording. I won't know until I put it in my system and check it. So, sorry. Let me give it to you like this. We got 4 matches and we got stuff that's building into Royal Rumble. Fun. I will not tell you it's all great. It seems okay. So, let me do the first thing. I actually made a previous video before this and I lost my train of thought and I just said, I'm going to re-record this. Shantae Adonis got a segment. Yes, he got a segment. Shantae Adonis got a freaking segment. We don't usually see that. He got one with Nick Aldis. Does that mean they're finally going to do something with him? Yes. Is it going to be good? I don't know. Right now, B-Fab was not with the Prophets and Bobby earlier. So I don't know what's going on with her. But with him, if they are going to do something, I don't know what it is. At this point, they were doing almost nothing with him and let him job out to the bloodline. I'm just saying. Let's just make it clear. He's been almost doing nothing for more than a year. He got brought back and then he's like this. So I don't know if it'll be good or not. But whatever it is, hopefully it will be something unless they're going to release him this year. They may still release him. Now, first match. The finals to the U.S. tournament. Now, I thought earlier in the previous video, this was the main video to talk about because of how they may be doing something with Logan Paul. But I have to be realistic. Logan is, and I even said it in the previous video, he is on a limited basis contract. In other words, this contract gives him only a limited amount of time that he will be on screen. That's how it is. So I thought earlier, maybe this might be a good thing. Maybe he'll go beyond what his contract states because he can, just like Brock Lesnar and anyone else. They can do more days if they wish, but he's limited by that. He signed a contract where he'll do only the bare minimum days. If he's going to work a couple of weeks to a month going into a pay-per-view, he will. If he wants to work more than that, it's his prerogative. He has that choice to do that. So I was hoping and thinking in that video that maybe he will go beyond that. Because when you see the segment, you see Angel Garza, you see Alberto Carrillo with a Santos Escobar get beaten up by the LWO right before the match starts. You see the match, you see Logan talking, and he's so hated by the British Columbian crowd. That is great. That's good. It shows that he's getting the correct heat. And he feeds into that, which is perfectly fine. Whether you like Logan or not, personally, it's not about if I like the guy. If I met him in real life, if he wasn't a YouTuber, if he was a good guy, I'd be cool with him. But since he is a YouTuber and he's done a lot of stuff, particularly what many people did not like in Japan, you don't need to hear what I got to say. Just look at what he did in Japan. A lot of people not been comfortable with what he did. And yes, he scammed people. That's what has also been clearly stated. And a lot of people are not happy about that. But he is doing his job. He's a heel. He's getting very good heel heat. And that is something to be commended. He's doing his job correctly and actually doing it pretty damn well. And when the match was over, because we knew KO was going to win, there was no way Santos Escobar was going to win. It's just no way. They're waiting for Rey to recover. Either Rey is going to be up against Santos or Carlito is going to be up against Santos, but they basically done almost nothing with Carlito. He actually would be better on NXT than he is on the main roster. I'm hoping he'll be on NXT because he did show up this Tuesday. But I'm going to tell you right now, they're probably waiting for Rey. So that means Santos is really not doing much. So when you see KO talk with a Logan Paul, supposing with a broken wrist, and whacks him in the face with it, is what we get. Then we get after that segment as he's walking with some ice on his eye with two guys that really seem to be getting somewhere months ago, but now fallen off the rails, and that is Grayson Waller and pretty much a Austin Fury. They're in his corner. And then you get Cameron Grimes messing with Logan, and now you're going to have Logan versus not Logan. Well, I think it would have been better if Cameron Grimes go up against Logan than Grayson Waller go up against Cameron Grimes, because then at least you'll build something for Logan to do before the Royal Rumble, before KO. So you have something to do, because he needs to be able to keep showing that he can get it done in the ring. But it looks like it's going to be Grayson versus Cameron Grimes instead of Logan versus Cameron. That's just me. Next, the match that really botched badly. This match was really bad. And it wasn't just because of the ring work, guys. Mia Yim. I'm not calling Mi Chan. I'm calling Mia Yim. Mia Yim against Io for the women's title. Let me give it to you like this. Whatever could go wrong did go wrong in that match. It looked sloppy. It looked telegraphed. It got better near the end, at least until Mia Yim's top popped off her back when she decided to do it. Guys, she had a wardrobe malfunction. Luckily, her boobs didn't spill out of her top. It was just her ring attire, not her underclothes, that the back strap just popped. It looks like it just popped, and then she had to try and find a way to retie it. We didn't see it because the camera cut away, and it was a pre-recording, so we didn't see it. So someone had to go help her tie herself back up, and then they continued the match. Because after that, that's the only way they can continue, because her clothes were all loose. I didn't expect Io to lose. Not here. And she did not. And then we get the entire gang together with a Bayley and Bianca Belair. Let me give it to you like this. Bayley saying she's going to make sure everything works for Io is fine. That she's the leader. The leader. But seeing that they're still doing something with Bianca where she should be I'll talk about the Street Profits and Bobby in a minute. But seeing that Bianca is still dealing with the situation after so many months where the storyline is stale. I'm sorry. The storyline is stale. The only reason she's still working with it is because of the question of Bayley. We don't know how far they're going to stretch this before they finally see that Bayley is going to break away from everyone. And then the feud will really begin between Bayley and the entire group of Damage Control. That's the only reason they're stretching this, because they want to try and make a story around Bayley going away from Damage Control. That's what this is. But Bianca is doing nothing. She's getting either her butt kicked or she's winning, but then she gains nothing. And she's saying she's going to get the title. I don't believe it. Because even if she won the title back, it's boring. Bianca Belair is boring as a face now. And that's sad to say. Let's move on to her husband, Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins, and Bobby Lashley, coming out talking about what happened last year and what they want for this year. Last year, Bobby said, last year was not one of the greatest things for me. I did not get what I wanted. I couldn't meet up my own expectation. But one of the best things I did was work with the Street Profits. And this year, we are going to dominate. And that's what they basically were talking about. Until we get Karrion Kross coming out with Paul Ellering and Scarlett and the Authors of Pain, beating the crap out of them and destroying them. Let me give it to you like this. We were questioning what was going to happen with Bobby and the Street Profits. Because they lost so much on and off, Bobby was getting pissed at them. Then eventually started winning. And instead of really making them mean something going forward and start giving them wins before they have to get into a feud for this year, you get their asses whooped by pretty much Karrion Kross, the Authors of Pain, to go with them. That's very great to show that you appreciate the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley. And I know people are going to say, I'm sure Just Alex is going to say, oh, this is great. The Street Profits will be fine. Bobby will be fine. No. Guys, all that long-winded building between the Street Profits and Bobby would be a total waste. Right now, having to deal with the Authors of Pain and dealing with Karrion Kross, because they need to build themselves up. We have not seen the Authors of Pain for a very long time. We have not seen Paul for a long time. Why? It wasn't that Paul didn't want to travel. It was Vince didn't want him around. And the Authors, they both each, I think, got injured. So they weren't doing anything. And then they got released. And now they're back. If I remember correctly, they got released after one got hurt. And then the other, I think, might have got hurt or wasn't doing anything. He was sitting in the back and might have been hurt, I think. And then got released. And now they're back. The Authors of Pain and Karrion Kross need to get over. But now that you balance the Street Profits with Bobby, they need to do something. And now you stuck them together in the very beginning of the year instead of keeping them separated. One of them is going to have to job to the other. You're not just going to have them beat up on each other. Eventually, one needs to job to the other, and they both need to win. I don't know about JD or Alex. I'm probably sure Alex is going to say this is great. Maybe JD may say, I'm not too comfortable with this because the Street Profits and Bobby, they finally seem to balance and they really needed to begin something and they don't even get it because now they just got beaten out by the Street Profits. Or he'll say that this is actually going to be good for the Street Profits because now they're going to have a challenger. But honestly, I don't see it that way. I just don't see either team really getting anything because they both need to win. They both need to get somewhere. This is too soon. The Authors of Pain should have time to build up into defeating somebody. Karrion Kross has done nothing since last year into this year. He looked like a joke. Yes, he had feuds with AJ and everyone else and Ray, but it didn't get him anywhere. So now you're going to throw him at them and it's... I'm just saying. Now, Paul Heyman talked a little bit about The Rock and saying he's no different than anyone else dealing with the head of the table. He's got to be invited. I had to pause on purpose. Invited to even begin to talk or sit near the table. So they're treating The Rock, and this is Paul and Roman, that Rock is not a member of the family. That Rock, and this is for me personally, this is for me, the way I would see it. They didn't show Roman talking about The Rock. They show Paul talking about The Rock, but not in the way of family. They're talking about him just being an ordinary guy that's just going to be trying to get the head of the table position. But he's family. And they made it so important about family. You don't see Jimmy talk about, or with Solo, I can't believe our cousin Rock's acting like this. Unless I missed it because I did go to take a piss. Unless it was when I took a piss and came back. I didn't see that. So instead of making this feel like a family thing, they're just making it feel like a wrestling thing. And I think they just made a mistake. Me personally, they made a mistake. This is not about making The Rock important in the situation. He already is. He's a member of their family. And they just made it impersonal. And I think that's a mistake. You guys tell me below. Tell me below how you feel. Let me see here. Butch and Tyler Bates versus Pretty Deadly. Now, I'm actually glad. Sorry if you saw something in my eye. I gotta say, seeing Tyler Bates there, I'm glad. This is his first time in the main roster live in front of people. So, this is going to be a good thing for him personally. Admittedly, if Vince was there, he would not even been allowed to wrestle. He wouldn't have been. Seeing that he was allowed to wrestle would give a good gauge of how British Columbia and how other people would really see him. Now, he got some good pops. He did. The match was fine. He got some good pops, and Butch and him won. But does this mean it's going to mean anything for Tyler? That's going to be the question. They already brought Carmelo Hayes onto the main roster now three times. The first time he went up against Finn and lost. He was champ. The second time, he was in the U.S. tournament. The third time, he went up against Kevin Owens. So he looked like he got something, but really, where is it going with him? So the first time for Tyler Bates, the question is going to be, will this lead anywhere? I just don't know. It's still too soon. We'll see if they're going to bring him back again, because they can also throw him on some live events, but the question is going to be, will he actually mean something? Now, let me give it to you like this, the final match of the night. Good match, really was. AJ, LA Knight, and Randy Orton. All of them had vid packs. They were all pretty good. I think the one who had the best vid pack was Randy Orton, because he's got the most history right now. He was out for almost nearly 2 years, and he just came back. And AJ was gone for a little bit, came back. LA has been there. He proved how good and how over he is, so it was all right. So this leads to this match to see who's the number one contender. Good match. LA got busted open at one point. But in the end, the match ended basically with no one winning, because the Bloodline comes out and whoops everybody's ass. And now, you literally get Nick Aldis, who was out there, approach a... Let me give it to you like this. Hearing Paul Heyman say, "Do not touch me," he says, "No. Tell your boys congratulations. They got a fatal four-way. Well, he's got a fatal four-way. That's Roman Reigns. He's got a fatal four-way at Royal Rumble." So, you could not decide which one will do Royal Rumble, because you weren't sure if you wanted them to job. Which one was going to job? You don't want to job LA. You don't want to job AJ. You don't want to job Orton properly. You don't want to job them to Roman, because you want to keep them strong. So, instead, you do a fatal four-way. Now, that does seem like the best option, because being such a big smosh of a match at Royal Rumble, technically the other two will not lose until one is pinned. Unless Roman's going to do exactly what he did with Daniel Bryan and Edge and pin them both at the same time. So if Roman Reigns is going to be the dominant GOAT that he is, that means he's going to pin Roman's going to pin LA Knight, AJ, and Orton at the same time, and stack them on each other, and he'll just pin them all, and they'll all just eat the pin. That's the only way you're going to make him stay dominant. Yes, he'll win, but then you'll make sure all of them lose, or you're just going to just be one of them. My guess, the one that's going to take the pin will probably be LA, but I can't be sure, because to be honest, LA should not eat a pin. Not again. But this is me. I don't know. We still got a couple of weeks before we get Royal Rumble. So let's see what else we're going to get. I'm sure I'm missing something. There's going to be something I'm missing. I don't remember what. I will say this one last thing about Mia Yim. Michin. Next to her top popping. Her top part of her ring attire. Not the under one where her titties can pop out. This was not one of her best performances. It was like, for me, it was like she really didn't have a lot of energy in the beginning of the match. And yeah, she got better later because she finally got into it. But it was like she didn't want to be there. I'm telling you the truth, guys. It felt like she doesn't want to be there. It's just me. And then her having a wardrobe malfunction. Yes, luckily her breasts didn't pop out. I said her titties, but her breasts. It's the same thing. It's just that she shouldn't be there. I don't think she should be in WWE. I think she should leave. Honestly, I think she should leave. She shouldn't be there anymore. Because I don't think she wants to be there. I think that's me. She's probably stuck in a contract and she can't leave. That's what I think. And I feel like she doesn't really feel happy there. But this is just me. Peace.